Hi everyone, Scorp here, continuing, or actually not continuing, making another deck profile. This is somebody's request was for a defensive deck, so I made a defensive deck. This thing still has some bite to it, but mostly it's going to try to win by defending. In testing, I noticed this is absolutely horrendous for trying to get any cards out of your opponent. But it's not a terrible strategy for winning the game. So let's go through the cards. First off, Magician of Faiths. I didn't really know what to put here, so we got some Magician of Faiths because we have a bunch of spells that we'd kind of like to use a couple extra times, so might as well have them in here. Wall Shadows. There's no Labyrinth Wall in this game, so Wall Shadow's the next best thing. So 3 of those, 3 Millennium Shields. This increases your defense of all your creatures by 1,000 when it's in face-up defense, which for a defensive deck is pretty decent. I should mention Warrior's probably the most common type in this, next to like Rock, so I went with that as the deck leader. I could have put Rock as a deck leader, I could have put... I don't know. Kind of whatever you want as a deck leader here. Millennium Shield kind of seems to fit the bill, though, for deck leaders for this deck. Next up, 3 Prevent Rats. These things are relatively cheap. We're going to have summoning power issues in this deck, and there's not really a way around that. So, yeah, unfortunate. But Prevent Rat's not terrible. Next up, 3 Wall of Illusions. These things basically just shuffle a card to the bottom of your opponent's deck that attacks it. Sometimes your opponent just actually plays a 5,000 attack creature and you can't defend against it. Wall of Illusion's great for getting rid of it. If this were modern Yu-Gi-Oh, this is better than a standard destruction, but in this game, sending to the bottom of the deck is effectively the same as destruction. There's not many people play Monster Reborns and that stuff, so this doesn't really matter, but it is technically slightly better to get rid of it this way. If you're not going to run your opponent out of cards, which this deck's never going to try to do. Gear Golem, this has pretty high defense, especially for a 4-star. Giant Soldier of Stone, it's 3 stars for 2,000 defense, so great. Stone Statue of the Aztecs, 2,000 defense, unfortunately it's 4 stars. Most of this deck is 4 stars or higher, which is pretty unfortunate. That's why there's not that many monsters in here. Soul of the Pure for healing, Shield and Sword. This is how you're probably going to end up finishing your opponent off. You're going to defend an attack, and then you're going to Sword and Shield, and then attack them. Yellow Luster Shield, defense boost for all your creatures. Pretty solid. 3 Megamorphs. We're using a bunch of random stuff, so it's about the only thing that'll buff everything in the deck. Curse Breakers, because there's not really much better, and I wanted to keep the deck cost down a little bit. Tears of the Mermaid for stall, because we have so many cards that are expensive. We're going to have to slow our opponents down, and then 1 Mirror Wall since we're playing a wall deck. Figured putting in Mirror Walls pretty appropriate. So let's go find somebody that likes to play a little aggressive, like Joey. I can't really use this deck on like the final bosses because they don't really attack people, which is unfortunate. Just throw Tears of the Mermaid at him. Do be careful, this deck kind of fuses in ways that you don't want it to. One of the worst buff targets for Megamorph is probably Millennium Shield, but I'm going to put it on there anyways. Millennium Shield's not as good for, like, shield and sorting, so I don't really like to put buffs on it, if I can help it. But it's just the best option here, so... And we sure did chunk him with that hit. Just put this in defense and see if he swings into it. He's pretty low on life points, so he might not swing into it. Or he will, and this game is completely over. So, yeah, Millennium Shield gives pretty good buffs. It's great. It's a pretty decent buff to your defense. So even when we don't draw Shield and Sword, we do pretty well. But unfortunately, the spoils of victory are pretty minimal. So we'll just play a couple people and see how this deck does. This is definitely a much different playstyle than you're probably used to. This guy's probably a pretty bad person to do this on, but might as well, right? If you really want to mess with the AI, you could use darkness approaches and that kind of stuff, but I don't think you really need to. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to need a Wall of Illusion this game, so I'm not going to use one. So Gramps here doesn't usually attack much, which is kind of bad for me. I don't think he's going to attack the Millennium Shield, so I'm going to flip it. I'm going to play another Millennium Shield next turn, and then he'll probably end up attacking into something that's way too strong now. That fuses. $5,000 defense is a lot of defense. And his AI is broken. Wonderful. Not the greatest use of a mirror wall. I don't even know what I want to do here. Don't even have any cards that I want. Oh, that's gonna hurt, bud. I really need to draw a Sword and Shield. That Magician of Faith's defense is pretty solid. Oh hey, a Sword and Shield. Unfortunately, it doesn't transfer over the buff for from Millennium Shield, but I now have a 3800 attack beat stick, which is pretty good, I guess. Oh, yeah, that's 1600. Trying to avoid fusing. Oh, good thing that Nemoriko's effect didn't activate. Well, this guy's AI kind of broke, so not a great demonstration, especially not of a defensive deck. It's hard to be defensive against an AI that is so passive. I think we'll go after Yugi, because the majority of his cards are meant to deal with offensive things, and we're not going to play offensive things, then he really won't have a good time. So, like, Mirror Force and Mirror Wall are kind of bad against this deck. It's just another reason I'm like, yeah, they're not that good of cards, you know? Like, Mirror Force and Mirror Wall are good cards, don't get me wrong. But, like, are they that broken? Ooh, lots of power increases. I'd like to... Just gonna double yellow luster shield these. 3,800's good enough, especially with a mirror wall. Now, any sane human would not ever attack these. But this isn't a human we're talking about, so he's about to attack them and lose horrifically. No, he didn't attack yet. Maybe I can draw a top deck Millennium Shield one time. Nope. Never Millennium Shield right off the top. Ooh, Blackluster Soldier. Ouch, bud. So here's where I Sword and Shield and then get Mirror Forced anyways. Oh, there we go. So, if I play this Magician of Faith here and flip it, it'll play the card behind me, I believe. If you want to be really dastardly to this AI, you can play... I shouldn't have done that. You could play Darkness Approaches in this deck and reset your cards to be face down, so they attack them again. Oh, congratulations, you have another Mirror Force. Unfortunately for him, the AI is not good enough to understand that you don't attack into a creature that has a ton of defense. Even though I did Sword and Shield that, so maybe I should have Sword and Shielded that back. But hey, we won! So, is this a very viable strategy? It works great until you have to deal with somebody that actually can just look at your cards while they're face down. Which there's a couple AIs that do that. Specifically both the bosses and Pegasus. Yuck. Oh wait, he won't ever attack me. I know his AI well enough. He doesn't flip this. See? Let's make this hurt a lot. What world do you not attack me there, bud? Is still gone? So easy damage. I could have flipped that rock and attacked that, but it's okay. Oh hey, he attacked it. Yeah, don't do that. That was bad. Yeah, the AI in this game, nah, it's questionable. Go ahead and do one more duel and call that a day. So, yeah, defensive deck. It's definitely a different playstyle. It definitely doesn't usually kill off many opponent creatures. But it's kind of effective. No, that's a trap. Good thing I'll never trigger it. Hey, 2 traps in a row. Nice. I'm gonna not need Wall of Illusion. It's only for dangerous people, and this guy's not very dangerous. Oh, and he played 3 traps to start out with. Oh, finally a monster. Putting Mirror Wall in defense because he probably has an Air Force down. I'll throw this in defense, and then double Yellow Luster Shield. And Mirror Wall's gonna make this hurt a lot more than it would have anyways. But attacking into a wall is not great. Especially with Mirror Wall. Yeah. So we never got to figure out what those traps were. I would probably bet that there's at least one Mirror Force and one Acid Trap hole. And then I'm not sure what the other one is, because it's one of the other two. It's one of those. That's what the odds say it probably is, but, you know. It could be anything that's in his deck. But, this has been a deck overview of one of the odder decks I've ever put together. Definitely looks like just a pile of bad cards, and they kind of win the game. So, you know, you put together most sets of cards and do pretty well, especially if you put a whole bunch of good spells and cards with them. So, you know, Mirror Wall's good. Seemed pretty good. It's really good against the AI, at least, because the AI is kind of bad. So, yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Have a nice day.